My trip to look for Chanee, the gibbon guy, takes me to Palangkaraya in central Kalimantan. Finding him is not difficult. The Frenchman is there to greet me at the Cilikriwut airport, and you can't really miss him in the crowd.
So where exactly are we going? What's the name of the place?
We are going to Barito Utara, in the north of the Barito River, in the village of Pararawen.
So Chanee, this is an 8-hour journey.
8-hour journey, yeah, from Palangkaraya to Muara TV, and in Muara TV we'll have 1 hour by boat.
Oh, okay. Sounds exciting. So how did you follow about the gibbons in Indonesia when you were in France?
Well, from very young I was always fascinated by primate, and the first time I met gibbon was in zoos, in French zoo, when I was 12.
Do you still remember the name of the gibbon that you looked at?
Of course I do. Washo.
Washo. Okay.
Female.
And you watched her for 5 years?
Yes, there are 4 gibbon in that zoo, and I said every Wednesday, because we didn't have school on Wednesday in France, I'm just sitting from the morning to the evening in front of the cage.
Your parents weren't worried about you?
No,
Couldn't you get some real friends, Chanee?
Well, at least I was not, playing with my friend in the street, or they feel more comfortable to know their son is just sitting in the front of the cage in the zoo. It's safer.
Yes, where the other boys probably watching television in front of the television, you're sitting in front of the gibbon in the zoo. Wow, that's a wonderful story.
Aurélien Brûlé's dreams and passions have made him the man he is today. Since barely a teenager, he has been obsessed with gibbons, studying them for years after his school hours at a local zoo in France where he lived. His tireless observations gave birth to a book about gibbons that he published when he was only 16 years old, and brought him recognition as a budding expert on this primate that is in danger of extinction. But young Aurélien was not satisfied to study gibbons in a zoo. He was determined to see them in the wild. He went to Thailand, earning him the name of Chanee, meaning gibbon. But it is Indonesia with its many species of gibbons that became his destination of choice. For 14 years now, since 1998, Chanee has set up a gibbon sanctuary and conservation camp called Kalaweit near the Pararawen Reserve. The project is now expanded to West Sumatra. The foundation is actively engaged in rescuing gibbons and other wild animals that have been confiscated from irresponsible people who sell and keep them as pets. Kalaweit prepares the animals for release into the wild or keeps them protected in the sanctuary.
So this is your office?
This is our office
in Palangkaraya?
In Palangkaraya.
Okay, so what do you do in this office?
We are receiving all the animals because we broadcast this address on the radio station, so every people who have a gibbon want to give it to Kalaweit, come here. So it's where we get the animal.
Okay, and you get lots of animals?
Yeah, twice a month we receive a new animal at Kalaweit, a lot, from gibbon to sun bear to many kind of animals.
Where do these animals come from?
The pet trade, and because of the deforestation.
And then what do you do with the animals?
We try to rehabilitate them, to release them back to the wild.
Yeah. Stay, Sam.
Ready?
Ready.
Yeah.
You make this journey a lot.
Yeah, very often, yeah.
Barito.
Yeah, I have to spend my time every month, 10 days in Barito, in Kalaweit, 10 days in Sumatra, because we have also Kalaweit in Sumatra, in West Sumatra, so I have to make sure everything is okay there. And at the end, I have to spend also 10 days at home, so it's, I'm traveling a lot.
Otherwise your children will recognize you. Chanee, let's continue our conversation about the little boy who, instead of spending his time playing football with his friends or watching the television, he sits in the zoo watching a gibbon on a family of gibbons. And you did this for 5 years. Okay, and you started to get to know these gibbons in France.
Yeah.
Okay. So what did you find out about them during those 5 years, and what did you write about in your book?
I was very young, so when I read back my book now, it's just funny. But it was just basic observation of how to take a gibbon in captivity, like how to make a pair. You know, gibbon live together for life with the same partner.
So they're like humans.
They're like human, yeah, monogamous. And it's not just that simple to put one male and one female in one cage. They have to choose each other, and it's not easy to make a strong pair. So it was about all that and how to take care properly of gibbon in captivity.
You said you managed to go to university for 5 months.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, after my trip in Thailand, I go to university in the northeast of France to learn about primates. And but very quickly I realized that what I want to do is not studying them, it's to save them. And it's quite different. I want to do action. I want to do things. And
not just theories.
Exactly. It's why I quickly realized that what I need to do is just to take an airplane and fly over to Indonesia.
So in order to actually go to Indonesia, and you had the sponsor from who's very famous in France. Tell me about her. How did she manage to find your book and then contact you and then say, here, have all the money you need, go wherever you want to go?
Well, she said she wake up in the morning and take a magazine and she opened it and it was an article about me in it. She called my publisher first to get my number, and one day when I was back from my school, I received a call and I said, okay, I'm Muriel Robin. So first of all, I didn't believe her, but I recognized the voice. And she said, okay, I read an article about you. I want you to live your dream. So I will help you and I will always be here for you.
Wow.
And I was 16, now I'm 33 years old, and she's still here.
She's still your mother.
She's still my second mother. Yeah, she's a wonderful
And she freed you from having to go to university.
Exactly.
But then you came to Indonesia, and '98 was a very difficult year for Indonesia. And I'm sure the last thing they need on their hands is some kid wanting to go to Kalimantan to look at the gibbon. So how did you manage it? What was the first, when was the first time you...
So I arrived in May '98. Jakarta was very busy.
Yeah, dangerous place.
Dangerous place at the time. And it was on all headlines all over the world. So my family knew about it, Muriel knew about it. But I was so focused, and the French embassy in Jakarta said to me, go back to France, what are you doing with your animals at the time? It was not a good time. But I fly to Borneo, spent 3 months in Borneo, just make a survey to realize how many animals was detained as pets in villages. And so I have a good idea after 3 months of the situation, deforestation and other issue about gibbon conservation. And I head back to Jakarta to try to negotiate the MOU with the Ministry of Forestry.
So it's actually a permit for you to set up a gibbon conservation program.
It's a MOU for an international collaboration between my French NGO with the Ministry of Forestry of Republic of Indonesia.
Wow, and it's the first of its kind?
First gibbon conservation project for Indonesia. And it was hard because everybody was used to work with orangutan and nobody understand why it was important to set up a project for gibbon. And I was very young, so I didn't have any credibility at all in the front of many people.
How did you manage to convince them that this is actually...
Well, just determination, motivation, going every single day there, saying, okay, maybe you don't believe in me, but you don't have any program yet for gibbon. So you don't have a choice. Nothing is done now. I'm not asking you money. I'm trying to find my own money to do it. I just need your permission to do it. You don't have to lose anything.
And that was 14 years ago.
Yeah, 14 years ago.
Yeah. So Chanee, we're almost there.
Always.
You're home.
Yeah.
So where are we exactly? It's so dark.
We are between the Pendere village and Pararawen. We are just 2 or 3 minutes from camp. It's just very dark. You can see it, but we have almost 150 gibbon in the forest over there.
But can you hear the sound of the night?
Yeah.